Hey everyone, and welcome. So let's talk about leadership today. In this crazy, fast-moving world, what does it really mean to be an effective leader? It's way more than just having a fancy title or telling a team what to do. We're going to dive into the three core pillars that, honestly, separate the good leaders from the truly great ones.
It all boils down to this one question, doesn't it? A manager. A manager makes sure the trains run on time. That's important. But a leader inspires everyone to get together and build a brand new railway to a place they've never been before. The difference is just massive, and it all starts with understanding what's going on inside all of us.
And this image, this really gets to the heart of it. There's this fantastic metaphor for how our brains work, and it's a rider sitting on top of a giant elephant. This is that constant tug-of-war we all feel. The rider is our logical, planning, rational side. And the elephant, that's our powerful, emotional, gut-feeling side. Real leadership, it's about knowing how to talk to both of them.
Which brings us right to our very first pillar, navigating change. Look, if there's one thing that's guaranteed in any business, it's change. And a leader's number one job is to guide people through it. But as you're about to see, not all change is the same.
Okay, so you've got two basic types. On one side, there's incremental change. Little tweaks, small improvements. Easy enough. But then you have transformational change. This is the big stuff, a whole new way of doing things. And this is where leaders really prove their worth. Because check out that number. Only a 30% success rate. It is incredibly hard to pull off. And the biggest reason why? Good old-fashioned resistance.
I absolutely love this quote. It just reframes the whole problem, doesn't it? We see our teams digging in their heels, and we immediately label it resistance. But what this tells us is that most of the time, it's not that they don't want to change, it's that they're confused. The leader just hasn't painted a clear enough picture of where they're going. So how do you fix that? How do you provide that clarity? Well, we go right back to our rider and our elephant. And this isn't just some cute idea. It's a seriously practical framework for actually leading people through difficult change.
So here's the deal. The rider, that's our logical brain. It loves a good plan, it loves to analyze things, it provides the direction. But the elephant, that's our emotional gut. That is the raw power, the energy, the motivation. You can give that rider the most beautiful, perfect map in the world, but if that 6-ton elephant doesn't feel like moving, guess what? You are going nowhere.
So the secret is getting them to work together, and it's a simple 3-step strategy. First, you have to direct the rider. Give that planner a crystal clear destination, no ambiguity. Second, you have to motivate the elephant. You have to tap into emotion and make people feel why this change is necessary. And finally, you shape the path. You make the first few steps so simple, so clear, that it's easy to get started.
Now, once you start making those big changes, something else is bound to happen. Conflict. It's just inevitable. And that leads us straight into our second pillar, mastering conflict. A great leader doesn't run from conflict. They know how to harness that friction and turn it into fuel for growth.
And let's be real, conflict comes from everywhere, right? It could be big stuff like fighting over budgets, or small stuff like different work styles or personality clashes. It's just a natural part of putting a bunch of passionate, smart people in a room together. The goal isn't to get rid of it. The goal is to have a playbook for dealing with it. And a fantastic playbook for this is the Thomas Kilmann model. It lays out 5 totally different strategies for handling conflict. And the key here is that this isn't about your default personality. It's about a leader making a conscious, strategic choice about the best way to handle a specific situation. Let's quickly break these down. If it's a true crisis and you need to make a fast, decisive call, you might need to use a competing style. But hey, if the issue is small and the relationship is what's really important, accommodating is a much better move. Sometimes, if an issue is trivial, avoiding it is the smartest play. And if you need a quick solution, maybe compromising is the way to go. The absolute best-case scenario, of course, is collaborating to find a true win-win. The point is, a leader knows which tool to pull out of the toolbox instead of just using the same old hammer for everything. But here's the thing. It doesn't matter which of those 5 strategies you choose. There is one fundamental skill that you absolutely have to have, or none of them will work. And that skill is active listening. You simply cannot solve a problem you don't actually understand. And active listening happens on 2 channels at once. There's the verbal stuff, saying things like, okay, so what I'm hearing you say is, to make sure you've got it right. And then there's all the nonverbal stuff, making eye contact, nodding, keeping your body language open. When you do both, you diffuse the tension and you build the trust you need to actually find a solution. All right, this takes us to our third and final pillar, cultivating presence. Now, this one's a little harder to pin down. It's that it factor, that leadership wow factor. It's less about the things you do and more about how you show up. And if you're thinking, oh, that's just some soft, fluffy skill, think again. Research shows that a whopping 26% of promotion decisions come down to executive presence. It has a real, tangible impact on your career because it's what makes other people see you as a leader in the first place.
So what is it exactly? Well, the first piece is your style. This is the surface level stuff. How you present yourself, your image, how you carry yourself, the way you interact with people. It's that immediate first impression you make the second you walk into a room. But right underneath that, you have substance. This is your gravitas. It's that feeling people get that you are confident, that you know your stuff. It's how you stay calm under pressure and how you can clearly and powerfully communicate a vision. But the most crucial part, the absolute foundation that holds it all up, is character. Because look, you can have all the style and substance in the world, but if people don't trust you, if they don't believe you have integrity, that you're authentic, that you genuinely care, then your leadership is completely hollow.
And this quote just nails it. Character traits like humility aren't just nice-to-haves. They are strategic advantages. Humble leaders build teams that trust them, respect them, and want to stick around. And a lack of it, well, it actively pushes your best people out the door. Character is where real influence comes from.
Okay, so let's tie this all together. These three pillars, navigating change, mastering conflict, and cultivating presence, they aren't just three separate ideas. They work together. They are your complete toolkit for being a truly effective leader today. So here's the game plan. For navigating change, remember, direct the rider, motivate the elephant, and shape the path. For mastering conflict, make a conscious choice about your style and listen like it's your job. And for cultivating presence, remember to build it from the inside out, starting with that solid foundation of character.
And that leaves us with one last question, just for you. Being a leader, it's not a destination, right? It's a constant process of learning and growing. So, as you look at these three pillars, be honest with yourself. Where's your biggest opportunity to level up? Which one are you going to start working on first?